Hold tight, y'all. Okay, five, four, three, two. Yeah, yeah. What's up to everyone? We're going live with this one. My name is Anthony Parker, and we're going to go to the, I think, second or third series on the aspects or the adversities or whatever of blind people dating. And I have two guests, two live wire guests on the phone. One from Detroit, female, and the other one again, my partner in crime, who's been helping me out from North Carolina by way of Florida. And
Yeah, yeah.
before I begin, I want to say what's up to my co-host Kim Daniels, holding it down. I want to say what's up to everyone who has been subscribing, following, commenting, sharing, liking, thumbs upping, all that kind of stuff. I appreciate it. We definitely appreciate the road that we're on. But anyway, we're gonna go a little loud because the reason why I want to do this because they have a lot to talk about, and we were just freelancing earlier. I said, man, look, this is too much to squeeze into 15 minutes, so I'm about to let everything hit you with the hot tracks and let you go, let them go live with it for a while till we've had enough. So I'm gonna cut the music. They're gonna introduce themselves. I'm gonna let the female go first. That's the ones from Detroit, and tell us a little bit about her history, and there might be some interruptions because my boy, he hungry right now. He wants some pizza, so he waiting for the pizza. So without further ado, we're gonna let her introduce herself and handle her business. So go ahead.
Hello there. This is Kia. I am from Detroit. I lost my sight about 5 years ago due to glaucoma. So I've been on both sides of this dating thing, sighted, unsighted. I'm a single mom, and yeah, it's just like I said, been challenging.
Okay, and go ahead on, Mister Celebrity.
On with a celeb.
uh, Derek, as we know, if you have been following, I am from I'm from Jacksonville, Florida, living in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. I have been blind all my life. I am a father of one, husband of one, and uh,
I would hope so.
a music enthusiast. Um, my condition is due to something they don't know what caused it. It is called Leber's amaurosis. It is a rare condition, and it is not hereditary. Thank God.
That's right. So you all both know the reason for the season, as they say, or the reason for the interview. And we're gonna jump right into it. Talk about the dating aspect. So, um, who wants to go first?
Well, I'll start. I don't have a problem.
Okay, tell the
I'm
people.
the one. Look, I'm the one still dating.
Yeah, I'm
Exactly.
not dating, so let her go first.
Okay, well, so
you know,
tell the people that what you feel and what you've come to understand about dating and your do's and don'ts and your the things that make you a little leery about it, considering the fact that you are blind. And Derek, you may wish to chime in, and you know how it goes. Go ahead.
Of
okay,
course.
so we're having this wonderful conversation here. And Anthony, I thank you for setting this platform up because I think a lot of people are having this conversation, but not having this conversation. Um,
I
for
agree with that.
from my point of view, dating has been challenging as a blind woman because there are two parts. There's the side of dating what I've always known, sighted people, and then there's the part of dating blind men, which I've never really done. And I'm just a person, so blind, not blind, black, white, green, it doesn't really matter. Just who are you? So, I was completely oblivious to the blind community. I was one of those people, if it didn't affect me, I didn't know nothing about it. And then unfortunately I went blind and there was this whole new world open to me. Um Dating has never really been hard because, I know what I want, I have standards and that's pretty much it. Dating blind, I actually have to have a, I guess you would call what is it, chaperone or, somebody to kind of like check out who wants to date me because they got to like go through a small process.
Mm-hmm.
I had, like I said, a bad experience with the whole online dating thing. So it makes me feel like I have to have that extra layer of protection. But with that, a lot of people are guarded about approaching me. So that kind of makes it hard.
Okay. Derek, what do you feel about what she had
So,
just said? What?
I agree with all that, but I want to agree with it from a different perspective. It's very hard, believe it or not. I said it was easy before, but when we got off the phone, I got to thinking about some things. It's really not easy because I made a choice to only date sighted women. So there's different challenges with that in itself for me, because it's the whole education process. You get different aspects of it, especially if some women find out. For example, a lot of ladies knew that I could sing. So that was a thing that made it easier for me to break the ice with the sighted ladies. You know what I'm saying? Because who doesn't like to be sang to? You know what I'm saying? What female doesn't? Like, well, I know some that don't too much care for it. It don't move them. Mm-hmm. But for the most part,
it's a good thing though. It's one of those things.
Yeah.
Niche.
Most ladies like to be sang to. You know what I'm saying? And that was my thing. That was what I did. But it is hard. It is hard dating someone that doesn't have a disability, because even right now as a married guy, I'm still educating my wife on certain things, advocacy,
understandable,
different things.
Okay, Derek, before you go any further, so are you basically saying that because of the fact that you were totally blind, the fact that you could sing was your niche that was that kind of like made the people feel at ease to at least accept you as a singer, and then say, oh, he's just blind, whatever. Is that what you're saying? Or?
Oh yeah, okay. For sure. And I
get that because in a way I have the same
full
thing.
Advantage of that.
I'm also a singer, and I'm a conversationalist, and I like to talk, and my ability to communicate is my niche. I can conversate with pretty much anybody about anything. I'm adaptable. So that's my thing. Communication is my thing. So when people meet me, the first thing they think is, man, she can talk about some stuff. So that's my thing. But I didn't want to make the decision to just date sighted guys or blind guys. I just kind of wanted to be open to either. But what I was finding, and this is what I was explaining to you, Anthony, being blind and dated a sighted person kind of felt like I was an experience as opposed to a date.
Oh, okay. So they want to see what it was like.
Kind of like they want the blind experience. Like they want to see how much I can do or how much help do I need.
Okay.
And it's like they're surmising whether I'm going to need them. Please excuse my little dog. He's barking at a squirrel.
We're live.
So, yeah, it was kind of like he wanted to fill me out and figure out what I could and couldn't do, what I needed him for, or what I didn't need him for. And he would always say stuff like, oh, you're so freaking amazing. I put a box of cereal back. Are you serious? But okay.
I went through that. I don't want
to that's cool, But
I don't want to go too much into my experience because this is about you all. I went through that same scenario back in the day.
I didn't go through that.
It's bad. It's bad.
I've had the opposite experience with that. I too can have a conversation, but as I told you, I'm an introvert. But when you get me in a situation, I will say this: when you get me in a situation to talking and stuff, you'll find out that I'm very funny, and most people are surprised about how funny I am. I think what really throws people off is how much I know about different things like sports, and I listen, and people are like, "Whoa!" Even not only from a dating aspect, but they'll see me talking to a chick, a young lady, back in the day, and they might be getting into a sports conversation, and we might be talking, and they're like, "Oh, I just overheard you." I'm just like, "Wow, I'm like, "Yeah, I know about that," but I had the opposite end of the spectrum. Most women that I dated didn't care that I couldn't see. They weren't all amazed. They'd be like,
and this has been new for me. Like I said, it's really new because the guy that just recently a guy that I dated, and it just kind of fizzled out because I think he didn't think I needed him. You know, just for the little things. Like, we would go to the movies, and, you know, he'd be like, so how do I take you to the bathroom? I'm like, I'm not a puppy. What do you mean, how do you take me to the bathroom? So he's like, well, who's going to help you in there? And, you know, and I had to, like, stop and think that, okay, he doesn't know.
Right.
And I'm like,
Yeah,
okay,
they don't
so
know.
here's how it goes. You get me to the door, and I'm pretty personable.
I'll
And if I
handle the
need
rest.
help, you know, I'm pretty personable. I can ask somebody, you know, can you show me to a stall? Or, you know, or me and my cane will go in there and find it. But, you know, he was just kind of, like, iffy about, we would go out to eat, and he's like, so you want me to cut your meat up? Sure, Dad. And I know he was only being polite.
Right.
You know, I laugh my way out of things. So, you know, it's to make a joke about it and make it not less uncomfortable. And he's like, "Oh, I didn't mean to offend you."
Right. They
I'm
do
like,
say that. They do say
and
that.
I'm like,
I mean,
"You're
right.
not. I'm not very easily offended at all. I'm very transparent,
Me either.
and
Me
there's
either.
not much people can't talk to me about. And some people find that a little aggressive. They say. But for me, it's just, if I want to know something from you, if I don't ask you, will I ever find out?
Right.
I mean,
Well-
most people aren't mind readers.
Yeah.
So with him, it just fizzled.
Wow. That's pretty
Go ahead.
sad. My Go ahead, Anthony. You were getting ready to say something. Sorry.
I was about to backtrack, but before I do that, I want you to, so you won't lose your train of thought. Go ahead and say
Yeah,
what you
finish your
have to
thought.
Like I said, I kind of had the opposite end of the spectrum, but where it was kind of similar, almost was with the bathroom thing, and it's like, yeah, we good once you get me there, and most of the time I have my cane. Because the one thing that I used to get in trouble about with my mobility teacher, did you have your cane in the bathroom? I mean, did you take your cane with you? No, because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not a cane person. I don't even really like the cane. I'm apt to leave it, you know what I'm saying, somewhere. But I'm one of these people that will fumble around in the bathroom and make it and find what I'm looking for. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
yeah, I'll do that.
I will
I'll
find
do
what
that.
I'm looking for.
But women are so much more nurturing, of course. So if you're in the bathroom with a lot of ladies, you don't have to do a lot of fumbling, because if they see you, they're like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
"Can
dudes
I help
like,
you?" You know, dudes looking at you like,
hey,
"Man,
man,
turn the other way, dog. Don't shoot this
Right.
way." You know.
Dudes, and you know what? A lot of times dudes be doing their business. They be like, "Hey man, hey yo man, you all
Hey,
right,
man, you
good?"
might want to turn to the left a little bit, dog.
Right,
turn,
right.
turn to the left.
But look,
Dude.
as we digress, that was a little sidebar. My question was, do you all, and I posed to both of you all, do y'all think because of the fact that you are blind or we're blind, I'm just posing to you, that we have to find extra things to sort of coat, you know what I'm saying, so they won't focus on your blindness, or would that be a situation if you weren't blind, like Derek, you could sing, and Kay, you can sing, if you were not totally blind, would that matter? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, do we have to come up with extra stuff?
Oh,
to
would
say,
that still be like my niche, you mean?
Yeah,
Would I
exactly.
still have a niche? Well, my niche is that I'm a talker. That's just it. Either way, blind or not
You run
blind.
them out.
I was like this before I went blind, and I'm the same person. I'm very forward. I put myself out there because I like to talk to people. And when I talk, you know, people listen, and I have interesting things to say, and it leads to a wonderful conversation. However, I used to be one of the people that would fade to the shadows and just didn't want to be bothered. I'm here, but, you know, I'm cool. I don't need to be a part of the bunch. Yeah, I'm part of the bunch now. And it's been that way for the last, 10 years or so. I finally just kind of came out of my shell and was like, look, either you're going to say something and get out here, or you're going to stand back and just be a blip on the earth with no purpose.
Well,
So now I have purpose. I strive for things. I
definitely
read.
can tell that you're very much a talker and whatnot. So, because I met, you know, as a blind person coming up, I met a lot of people who, you know, they do say, well, you know, speak for myself, my personality overshadows everything, to where, you know, they don't really focus on that, and they start asking me questions about how I do this, how I do that. So, and I guess within each individual, it depends on, like, if you're an introvert, then you know, say it may be a situation where if you meet somebody, they may like, "Ooh, I don't want to meet, I don't want to deal with him because he don't do this, don't do this." But if you have an extrovert person who's a go getter and just just don't is not worried about anything, just do whatever, then that kind of like impresses a lot of people as well. You know what I'm saying? So
it does. It stops people from coming at me like with just the blind.
Right,
you know?
Right.
They don't see. They start asking me blind questions because I don't know, and I never take offense to people saying you don't look blind. I don't know what blind is supposed to look like, so
exactly.
I'm like, I don't know what you're looking for.
That kind of gets me. That kind of pisses me off.
I guess it hasn't because I don't know what you mean by what blind is supposed to look like.
Yeah, people do say that.
Well, it won't piss me off, but it does irritate me because I will ask them, well, what is it? Oh, you don't act.
And
blind.
I've done that. I've done that. I asked them, what does blind look like?
Yeah, let me piggyback off. Don't. What do they say when that has happened to you all?
Well, the first young lady. Go ahead.
I get you don't act blind, and this is the universal, male or female.
Yeah.
Well, you don't act blind. I'm like, what is that supposed to be like? What have you seen?
How am I
First of all,
supposed to
I'll
act?
ask you what have you been exposed to? That's what I would tell you.
I'm going to use that.
What have you been exposed to?
What have you been exposed to?
No,
right.
I mean, what if you watching TV? Don't do that because
you looking for me to fumble around
on TV, walking around with their canes in their house. Who the hell does that? Like,
I know I don't.
Right.
People ask me all the time, why you not using your cane? Because I live here.
Right. Why would I be using my... And I wanted to piggyback on something that Anthony was talking about, and I wanted to kind of answer that too. You don't have to do anything extra. You just do what comes natural to you. Like I make people laugh, and that breaks the ice for me. If I can get you to laugh, then you're not going to focus on. You're not going to focus on my
blind.
That's a good
perceived disability. You too busy laughing at something I said. You know what I'm saying?
And I jump on that with saying, I agree. I'm the laughter girl.
Right.
I'm the party girl. Everybody's like, here comes Kia, here comes the comedian. But the thing is, as funny as everything is, I don't do it to be funny. It's just my personality.
Yep, exactly.
Right. That's what I'm saying. I
talk about real life situations.
Like I might run up to somebody and say, "Yeah, man, next time we get together, I probably won't remember you. I ain't good with faces," and they'll bust out laughing.
I'm the same way.
I like that.
That's real talk, though. Like seriously.
But I will do stuff, and sometimes it depends on the person. Like if you can tell they're tense, this is what I like to do. I like to make people uncomfortable.
Oh,
because when they're tense, I do. I love making people uncomfortable. Like,
isn't it funny? They squirm and they don't know what to do.
Right. They be like,
and then you finally have to go, man, I'm just playing with you.
What do I say?
Well, let's take it a little step further and keeping it in context. As far as the have there been any myths that people have said when it comes to getting more intimate? Have there been any myths that people have come up with or stated to you all this about blind people in terms of?
Of course.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's expound on those.
When you mean intimate, what are you saying? What are you talking about? Like,
saying there are situations where people have asked me how do blind people, and then really they have, and I'm trying to keep it tasteful. How do blind people know where to put?
How do we become intimate? Basically, how do we begin the process of intercourse?
Right. Where do you know where to put? Your
the same way you do. That's what I'll tell people.
Because we have the best sight in the world, our hands.
Mm-hmm. And the crazy thing about it is the lights are off, so all of us in a sense we can't see. So therefore, that question for them to ask that question is kind of crazy because you have to use your hands to get where you got to go. You know what I'm saying?
I know, right?
Here's what I will ask them: do you look? How do you know?
Right, and if you do,
down are you? Because if you do, I'm worried about you. If you right here
if you're looking, you got a question.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And I had a guy ask me, "You want me to cut the light out?" And I'm like, "My lights are already out."
Right.
He was uncomfortable. It was all outdoors. I'm like, "Man, just cut the light out."
Oh, I love making people uncomfortable because it forces them to deal with some issues. You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Here's the thing: when you walk out of a house party and everybody's like, "See you later," and I'm like, "No, I won't." And I'll walk out the door. My mom's like,
now
"You're so
that I won't do because people are already leery about what to say. And
yeah,
so
well, it's usually
then you have
family for me.
Oh
So
my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God.
oh, that's funny though.
They're kind of apologetic, real.
Yes. Oh,
apologetic.
isn't everybody apologetic though?
Mhm.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Like, what the hell are you sorry for? You
So-
didn't do anything.
So most of so as far as the dating, have y'all dated online? What's the procedure for you all meeting people? Y'all do online, or y'all just actually go to clubs, or how? People want to know this. How do y'all actually meet people?
I'm not a clubber. I met mine through network, like through the natural process. The only person I ever met online was my wife, and that was pre-internet days. That was the phone line days. But
Yeah.
As far as
On chat line.
as far as when I was single, how I would meet ladies is wherever I would meet ladies.
Okay.
There was no,
Yeah,
you know what
I'm
I'm
kind of
saying?
the same way.
I just, first of all, I was tight. I dressed well, and that was another thing that people liked. I was tight. I mean, my mom bought me really high end things, but they were cheap. So I knew I looked good, and people would come and they would just
And you
talk to me.
kept
They didn't
yourself
care.
well.
Yeah,
You
they didn't
attracted
care.
people.
You know what I'm saying?
And I posed this question as I did to the last people. I'm gonna pose this question to both of you all. So let's say you met somebody online on the chat line, as Kia stated. Do you immediately tell them that you're totally blind, or you feel them out, or what's the process before you actually find out that you're?
I tell them right away.
Anybody I meet, I immediately tell them I'm blind.
And how? And wait. How does that? What's the responses you get?
Most of the time, the most common answer I get is, or question I get is, "Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. You didn't go blind."
That's true.
I mean, but or I'm so sorry, and I find myself constantly going, "Don't be sorry, I'm okay."
Mm-hmm.
I make it, and then it's the first thing they go is, "Well, I don't know what I would do if I was." Let me tell you what you would do. You would
live your life,
not see nothing, and keep moving.
This is so.
My motto.
Go ahead.
My motto is this: if you stub your toe, are you going to take off work? No, you're going to put your sock and shoe on and keep stepping,
moving.
right?
This
I
is
get
shows
up
how-
every day and I put a sock and a shoe on this stub toe and I keep moving.
This shows how universal this is, because the responses that you're giving right now are the same responses that I've gotten over the period of time in reference to dating. So people are really not that, they need to be more educated in terms of what to say, how to react and whatnot. And that's the purpose of this particular show, is to educate them in every aspect, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, I really never, I wouldn't have fathomed the fact that the comments and the response that you all getting are the same ones that I've gotten, in terms of
it's a small blind world.
Here's where I would disagree, because a toe and blindness are two totally separate worlds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can understand why a sighted person would say, "I don't know what I would do." Because I wouldn't know what I would do if I got my sight. You know what I'm saying?
Me either.
Everybody is different. So a lot of people probably in their mind couldn't survive. I talked to my wife about this, and we've had very honest conversation. She said she don't think she could do it. She doesn't. In fact,
I've heard that.
Well, I'm not gonna get into what. I
get that. But before I went blind, that was my statement. I don't know what I would do if I lost my arm, my eyes.
Right.
And when you lose any part of you that you've had all your life, it's hard. I don't care if it's your eyes, your ears, your fingers. It's
but
hard.
You don't need a toe like you need your eye. You don't depend on your toe like you do your eye. You did?
No, you don't. But it's still part of you.
It is, but you don't use your toe to see the world. You're like, man, I'm gonna pull out my toe so I can know what
you're
that
right,
toe feel like.
You might want that toe to stay balanced so you can see where you're going.
I see what he's saying, but it's not.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, it's important, but it's not important. You can function really well without
without
9 toes.
You can hop around. Matter of fact, you can probably get a check
without them eyes. You're right.
Yeah.
I do agree with that.
Yeah. That is too tough. But and I've talked to a lot of sighted people, and they're like, man, I probably would kill myself. Now I wouldn't do all that.
Yeah, that's what I get a lot. I probably wouldn't even make it. I probably wouldn't even make it. No,
Now,
it's just. I
having
mean, you don't.
said
It ain't
all
like you
that,
lose
though.
yourself.
Right. Having said all that, though, what I will say, I do believe I don't know how I would do it if I didn't have my hearing. I'm not gonna even lie. Like,
I think the same
not,
thing. I'm like, I'm in the dark. What would I do if I couldn't hear?
Right.
I don't know.
There have been people that had asked me what would I prefer to be, but that's another topic for another.
I didn't think people would ask that question, but Anthony, I get it quite often.
Yep, they do ask that. But as we segue into the last portion, have there been any situations where because let's say you've gotten into a relationship, and this for both of y'all, has there been any times where people may have tried to try you, take advantage or anything of that nature while dating, just to see how far what they can get away with?
Yes. For me, yes. I dated a young man, and just over the past summer, and he was a younger man. Don't do that. So he was a younger man, and I'm not gonna judge. Hold on, let me take that back. I'm not gonna slap all 30-year-olds because I got caught with that guy. So
you got caught with a baby.
Man, I got a 24-year-old son. You'd think I would have knew better, right? But I didn't. I was playing. Ooh, I'm over 40. Cougar. No, don't do it. So the little boy thought that he was going to live with me for some reason. He spent a couple nights, and all of a sudden, he thought he lived there. I was like, wait a minute, hold on, wait, no, this is fun. This is not
everything, huh?
And here's the thing, but you started doing stuff like you lived there. Like, you hanging stuff in my closet. Sweetheart, I knew you, you don't get a closet space. You don't even get a chair space. But basically, he was acclimating himself into my home as if he lived there. I mean, coming home from work to my house. And I was like, you can't live here. And he's like, but why not? We get along so well. I said, honey,
why not?
You don't love me. I love you. You don't love me. You've known me 3 weeks. You keep it tastefully like what I can do.
And some might have said that, or some of my audience might say that, so that's why it's good to hold off or don't give them that act right until they act right. You know what I'm saying? So go ahead, keep it.
And that's the thing, because he wanted to be a king in my castle, and you got to be a whole lot more than just a lot of tough boy to be a king in my castle.
Right.
I got boys that have to look up to the man that I decide to deal with, and my sons are well mannered and smart. They're not going to be just out here trying to find some woman to lay up on, and that's what I got from him. So our dating adventure ended abruptly.
Okay.
Pretty much, but you can't come back over here.
I have been blessed, I will say. I have not been taken advantage of in that way. I've had some crazy relationships, but not to where I've been taken advantage of that way, because man, I think
grind your gears.
Man, the most difficult time I've had is emotionally in my relationship. Most of my issues come emotionally in my relationship. I'm a very passionate person, so when I'm with you, and you are my focus. But sometimes what I have run into is I may dive in with with both feet, but that other person is like, maybe they got a toe in there. You know what I'm saying?
That's my problem.
That's the problem that I run into. Like, it's not necessarily so much that people are taking advantage of me. It's how much that I was putting into it, and that person just wasn't quite ready for that level that I was coming at them with.
Okay.
You're like the male me.
Okay.
Like, I get the same thing. Like, I meet somebody, and I dig their conversation. I dig them. And, I go to putting effort into them.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And I put all that effort into them, and then they're kind of like lukewarm where I'm hot.
Right.
And it doesn't work out.
Okay.
I will say this. I was dealing with one lady who will remain nameless, who was not used to, and this was back in the day, anybody telling her that they loved her, showing her any kind of Like, it would throw her off if I would say, I love you, or even ask her how was her day. She's like, man, I've never had that happen to me before. I'm like, what?
I'm the girl that's looking for that guy to say, hey, I love you. How was your day? I always end up with a goof troop who wants to high five me and high five me and watch Adult Swim. I'm like, hey, can we like hold hands?
Now I watch some Adult Swim with you because some of them.
Before we sidebar, it may be a situation where you may not be meeting the ones in the right places or whatever. But I think with time, what I'm saying, you're going to find that one that's going to meet you halfway, or even be willing to do whatever it takes in order to make the relationship work. Because like Derek, he said he's been married for 19 years, so obviously he's found someone, and I'm quite sure you will be able.
Oh, I know it.
To do
I
as well.
am wholeheartedly into falling in love and getting married and all that stuff. My husband is looking for me right now. You're advertising me for him. Thank you.
Yeah, I believe. See, I like how you're advertising.
Because God's good, and God is working on me, so I can't be right for somebody else if I'm not right for me.
That's right, and I like what you had just stated, and we're gonna conclude on that on that note as the music is queuing up and whatnot, because you all have touched on a lot of stuff that people want to know about. So with that being said, give the audience something to hang their hat on to, especially the ones who are interested in trying to date and what have you. Y'all, give them just a little brief synopsis of what they should do, or what how to go through these particular changes. I'm gonna let the female go first.
Okay, so just quickly, I guess if you're gonna date out here, be careful, get to know people, give yourself time, and first and foremost, be patient. Everything's not going to happen fast. It's not going to happen exactly when you want it to, but just like God, it happened when it's supposed to.
Good.
And I will say, nobody is meant to be alone. We are not wired to be alone. So anybody that tells you, I'm good by myself, I don't need nobody, they're lying.
Sure.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Blind, crippled, crazy.
Right.
I mean, not crazy.
Say,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Right. And as I always say, and I've said in the last two things we've done, if you're a Christian, if you're a believer, pray. Be prayed up, man. When you're out here,
stay
like
prayed
that,
up.
Yep.
Stay prayed up.
Prayers up, blessings coming down.
You got to be ready for it. So that's what I would say. Nobody's meant to be alone. Don't give up, and don't base your don't pull in your last issues into a new relationship. That's never. I'll tell you.
Never, because you'll never make it.
Are going to be different. Don't compare the person to the last person I had.
And I definitely concur, because not only just that goes with anybody. If you're totally blind, or if you have any other impairment, do not drag any other baggage into the relationship.
It will end before it begins.
That being said, I want to thank my subscribers. I want you all to continue to subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you can get the updates. You're going to get a lot of different topics for dealing with individuals who are impaired, that may have situations going on. Share, follow, like, and all that good stuff. So before I conclude, I'm going to give you all about 10 seconds to tell everyone why they should watch and listen to the Parker Daniels Show. Go.
Okay, well, this is Kia once again, and I want to thank you, Anthony, because he has given us a platform to discuss many different things, and a lot of different things that I think that we all think about. And here we're able to voice those things, and I'm glad to see that there's somebody out here putting us on. So thank you, Anthony.
You're welcome.
And I will concur. Hit that subscribe button. My man is doing it big. Y'all going to see him one day doing bigger things. So just keep it locked, man. Hopefully I'm here with him to experience it all.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
From the ground up, because that's my man. So
and I plan to be back.
Oh, yeah.
If he'll have me.
Oh, I want to be back. I will be back.
If he'll have me, I'll definitely be back.
Okay, that's a promise.
So
again,
y'all subscribe to the man. Support this guy. He's doing good stuff.
Subscribe.
He's not doing anything crazy like you see. Yeah, do that. Hit that bell.
Keep doing what you do, Anthony.
Thanks a lot.
Right.
Thanks a lot. Thanks. I appreciate it. And again, big shout out to my co-host. thanks to all the supporting people. And I'm gonna give you all a call in a few minutes once I get everything straight. Love you all.
Okay.
Yeah, because I wanted to mention something to Kia,
Yes,
and I
sir.
hope she wouldn't mind. I'll wait till we get off live because
Okay.
Okay.
Well, this one I'm doing. I'm gonna end this because I got a little bit more things to do, and I'll call y'all back in about 5 minutes. This is
Okay.
Okay.
Is
Thank
that
y'all.
okay, Derek?
All right.
Okay. I'll speak to you guys in a minute.
So there you have it. Dating. It was live. Few glitches. It doesn't matter because it's authentic. It's real. It's what I want. Thanks to my co-host who's been holding it down, Kim Daniels. Thanks everyone who has been supporting. Continue to do so.
Lit. 35 minutes 30. 0 watching now. Switch chat options. Filters. Button. Options. Button. Filter. Chat. Lit. 35 minutes. Finish. Finish. Button. Finish. Alert. Are you sure you want to stop streaming?